when we say that inspect what you expect, what does that mean to you, man? Where'd that come from?
Well, it started back when I was in high school. Very passionate about football. I love sports. And really wasn't getting as far as I wanted to, as far as like at the end of the game. See, I played both ways, always out of shape, or I want to do a little bit better at, say, especially part of the game like punting. And my dad sat down with me. He goes, son, you're just going to have to inspect what you expect. And when he explained it to me, it's like, if you expect to be here, then you got to go back and inspect. You got to look at what you're doing to get to this point right here. Mm-hmm. So when I did that, then I'm like, was I doing everything that I could do to get to that point? So that's when I increased my workout regimen. I went to running, 4 or 5 miles a day and staying after practice, working on different things. And I got to the end game. So when you ask what it means to me, it is very, very special because everything we do in sales, it all falls back to the same thing. And I didn't even realize that the very first road to the sale I had was back in high school when I set up this workout regimen. So, and there again, like right now, when I sit there and I dive in deep, it's kind of like he's in my corner. So
that's powerful, because when you think about that was one moment, right? When your dad just spoke those words into you that have carried you through the rest of your life, right? Because you're using it day in, day out. Hey, I'm evaluating what I'm doing. And clearly, Andy, your numbers speak to that. You are one of the hardest workers within Orca Life, hands down. I know David would second that. I mean, your work ethic is like no other that we've truly ever seen.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, I would say not only work ethic, but really professionalism. And I think this quote kind of speaks to that, because we've watched you, Andy, progress and better yourself every year. And when I say that, I remember us as we planned our award celebration, and I'm pretty sure, I guess it was 2021 when Andy started the business with us, and I think were you number 1 agent or number 2 agent that year?
Number 2.
But you only had 10 to 11 months worth of work put in
about 10
that year, because of when
actually less than that, really, because it went to, I started, I didn't even realize, we didn't pay no attention to the numbers that much until I got about 3 months to the end. I'm like, man, I got a chance at this.
Man, I didn't say that. I felt like if I was wrong, Andy. But no, exactly. And I remember that. And I remember, damn, this guy. And it's not like we had a bunch of slouches in the company, right? It wasn't like we were a low producing. We've always considered ourselves to be the highest producing final expense agency per agent in the country. We focused on one thing. We've become very, very good at it. And you came in from the start. And I remember at the end of that year, you said, man, I got a lot of work to do. And I'm going to switch my focus. So I want to kick this off, because I know you were in the car business for a while. You were in a car business for a long time. And I guess, were your expectations not being met by what that career was doing to you? Or what expectation were you looking for when you started the career here in the insurance world?
Well, looking back in the car business, I was in it for 28 years. The last 18, I'd done the training. But you're sitting there in the car business. It's a 60, 70 hour work week every week. There's really not much life. The position where I was at, unless you owned a dealership, you wouldn't get paid no more money. It was kind of like a dead end road. And by looking at me, and you know me, I'm not no spring chicken. So if there was a time for me to make a move, I needed to be making it. And the opportunity presented itself. I got to ride with a gentleman by the name of Brian Pierce that I had trained in the car business. So, and the opportunity was there. It was basically the same thing I did. With the biggest difference is all we really got to do is just help people and get paid way more money, and then I can work 2 to 3 less days a week. And I saw the end game for retirement, so it was just a win-win for me.